Alright guys, Legal Life Firearms back again, another tabletop review. This time I got the Glock 43. I started off with it, which was stock, bone stock, brand new. Gun is unloaded. So the Glock 43, in my opinion, this is my favorite concealed carry Glock. This is my go-to. I've been carrying this gun for well over a year, every single day. I don't switch it up. I don't really rotate. Even in the wintertime, I still carry this more than I carry anything else. So getting into it, you got striker fired as all Glocks are. Single stack. So this was the big problem when this gun came out was you had the 365, you had the Hellcat, and they were all 10, 11 round, 12 round with extended magazines and stuff. Glock put out the 43 with single stack, 6 round magazine, and even with the factory extension on the bottom, you don't add another round, so it's 6 rounds regardless. So what I did was a +2 tactical innovations on here to give me 8 rounds on the stock magazine, and I went over to the shield mags, the Z9s. So up and down, love and hate relationship with these magazines. They work, then sometimes they don't. It's more of a case of the springs wearing out really fast. I did contact them. They sent me another batch of springs, but I'm having a little bit of the same issue I did with the first springs, as in the last round not completely feeding. Spring tension's there, but it's not nowhere near as stiff as the OEM spring. So I mean that's something for them to work on in the future because the magazine has potential. It doesn't like to lock back, and sometimes they don't like to feed the last round. But other than that, they work. They're great. I don't have any other problems with them. So you have a width of a little bit over 1 inch on this gun. So you have 1.02 compared to the P365 at 1.06. Splitting hairs at that point, you notice it's a different grip angle. The whole grip is a different shape. So me personally with the 365, it's a good gun. I just don't like it. I find it snappier than the 43, but they're both snappy in their own right. Single stack, micro compact, they're gonna jump around regardless. So what I really wanted to do was put this up against something that's more in its league. I think the Hellcat and I think the P365 are a different class of gun. This is a single stack gun, so you're gonna have to compare apples to apples, not apples to oranges. So if I'm gonna compare this gun to anything, it's gonna be Springfield XDS9. I believe its closest competitor. So the XDS9, the 3.3-inch barrel, 7+1 in the magazine, single stack. It's a little bit heavier at 23 ounces. This gun only comes in around 16 and a half, and with an empty mag like 17, a little bit under 18 ounces. So you can see 18 ounces for the Glock, 23 ounces for the XDS. There's definitely a weight difference there. The grips are alright on the XDS. I think it's its closest competitor in terms of size, capacity, functionality, and everything. So on the XDS, the weight, I mean, the width is advertised at 1 inch. I can't tell you if it's 1.0 something. They just say 1 inch on their website. So the Glock and the XD are pretty much identical in size, almost. You know what I mean? I think the XD's grip is just a little bit longer. But that is his closest competitor. In my opinion, I'm still going to go with the Glock 43 over the XDS, regardless of anything else. So as you can see with this 43, it's not stock. Pretty much everything on here is changed out. Arc Division's compensator. Airglow glow in the dark sights. These are night sights. I did throw a Hollow Sun 407K on here. The CMC trigger. So I like the trigger, I do. This trigger is better than the stock trigger. Everybody knows the stock Glock 43s, 43Xs. The trigger on them is heavy as fuck. The blade's uncomfortable, and it's not the best trigger in the world. This, it's a little bit under the stock pounds, but a little bit of take up, but a nice crisp break. Short reset. So I like the CMC trigger. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out in the long run, putting hundreds and hundreds of rounds through here with this L shape on the bottom. I had somebody get in my comments and tell me that it left blisters on their finger. So I'm just waiting to see that. I haven't dealt with that yet. But yeah, I haven't put hundreds and hundreds and thousands of rounds through this particular build as it is. But in terms of everything, the Glock 43 is my everyday carry, my go-to. Safari precision slide on here, true precision barrel. Everything in here, it runs flawless. I have no complaints, no issues with this gun so far. Beside shield arms, magazines, and the mag capacity. That's the only thing people really can knock the Glock for. If the Glock was this same size with a 10 to 12 round capacity, the conversation would be completely different with everybody talking about the 43. But for me, this is my favorite carry gun. I got it down the way I want it. You know what I mean? I started off life with this with tier one holster. Now this is a closed bottom, so I was running this when I had my stock configuration on here. But you would have to run a separate mag caddy if you want to run another mag, or throw it in your pocket or something like that. I have a mag holster for my pocket that the guys over at 3D Evolution sent me. So I used that for a while with this, but eventually I switched completely over and got me T-Rex arms sidecar with the mag caddy. So this right here is my go-to setup. I run this every single day, everywhere I go, no matter if I'm wearing sweatpants, basketball shorts, pants, whatever. This is the setup. This works for me. I mean, it may not work for you. You might not like the holster. You might not like the gun. Find what works for you. It's a completely subjective thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't like something, you don't like the feel of it, that's on you. Somebody else might like it. But let me know what you think of the Glock 43. In my opinion, my favorite concealed carry setup, my favorite micro compact firearm.
And jump off in this Lego life.